Today, the Power Stroke powered Ford car gets a back seat. I know the old stroke box here doesn't really need seats in the back. I could get away with just finishing off the back, having the two front seats, and people would think it's fine, it's good, it's complete. But my daughter really enjoys going to these car shows with us, so I've got to accommodate her, and she needs a seat. I even got to the point where I was putting tractor seats in there. You know, you've seen it 100 times. They do them, they do toilet seat covers, they do all kinds of things. Look, I've even got them in there. I was heading that direction. It just, to me, doesn't really seem to fit. I don't know if I just don't like it or what the deal is. So I think I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna make my own. And I think we're gonna try and make some kind of bench seat. I haven't figured out the back section yet. I like to live by one problem at a time. Solve one problem, move on to the next. I try to do all the problems at the same time, and it never seems to get me very far. I end up just sitting here spinning my wheels, as you could say. I've had this sitting back here for, I don't know how long, a little while. I was always gonna build a rod out of it, you know, the one pull behind things for your kids. Never did. But I'm wondering if we take this, widen it, shrink it, narrow it up, whatever it takes, and we make a little bench seat out of that. Yeah, no, maybe so, I don't know. Look, Harley Davidson, made in China. Now, you just come with me. It kind of rolls, sort of. Okay, so it doesn't roll great, but it rolls. It'll be fine. Let's just get rid of the garbage out of the garage. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're definitely gonna have to widen it apart. We'll cut it down the middle. We'll figure out how wide we need to be, and I'll take it from the back side and I'll fill the front side with that. And then we'll get her set. Basically, I want to fill it from here to there, call her good. Yep, that's what I want to do. That's a big, ugly spider. Yeah. Alright. I went and hacked them apart. Made them a little easier to work with here now too, I think. Yeah, so I think we will connect the two of them again, and then we'll have our width figured out. We'll notch it out for the hump for the drive shaft. We'll get some more just random sheet metal. We'll join the two of them. I'm gonna cut this back edge out here, and I'm gonna run that foam all the way back to here, I think. Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna do. The first thing we probably need to do is figure out this measurement. 9.5. Let's make it happen. We are just gonna see how we do here. Just trying to make it all work here as best I can. We'll give her a go. That's what happens when you get a little carried away with the plasma cutter. Whoops. It's gonna be a bit tricky here by myself, without a welding table, without an extra set of hands, without skill. But we're gonna give her our best go. One way or another, we're gonna make this happen. Yeah, of course they're not tight enough. Why would they be ready? Alrighty. I think that's close enough. We can make it work. Oh yeah. We got her all notched out and fitting good now. I cut this X out of this because it was, I don't know, pressed to add strength to the original trolley thing. So I cut that out so the base would sit level on the floor. So I'm probably gonna cut it up and then put it back in upside down so it'll add a little more strength to it, and then we'll get a piece of sheet metal, we'll connect it there maybe. And then we'll figure out how we're gonna mount it to the ground, figure out the cushion situation. We're just gonna keep rolling forward. That's all there is to it. Yeah, we just keep putting it together. That's where we're at. There, that's basically the base. It doesn't look pretty. It really doesn't need to. It's gonna be hidden under everything else, and honestly, my allergies are kicking my ass today, and I just can't be bothered to deal with it. So we will move on from here. But that's the base. We gotta get her figured out how to get her bolted down. I'll probably just riv nut it down, honestly. This is just gonna be the holder. Let's find something to put in there now. Oh, where's my tape measure? I need my tape measure. This will work. (43 by 14). All right, so I got this wood tucked away back in here, you know, because I'm a pack rat a little bit. It's been around for a few years, as you can tell by its agedness. And it looks like we got, oh yeah, we're gonna be good. I don't have to buy anything. I already have it. If I can make this whole seat base without having to buy anything, I'll be a happy feller. I can tell you that much right now. Please don't be any snakes. Sweet. Ignore the mess. Really hope that edge is semi-straight. You might be thinking to yourself, well, this isn't metal, so he's probably better with wood than he is with metal. No, I'm worse. That's a pretty straight line. Can we do another one? What are the odds? Kickback, why'd we get kickback? Oh, we almost went 2 for 2. Alright, it's gonna fit. The corners are the problem. This has square corners, that has rounded corners. Dummy! Could I have found a way to cut actual radiuses on there? Probably, but it doesn't frickin' matter, so why? It's gonna work, or it won't, and then we'll fix it. Frickin' perfect. Now we need some foam. And looky here. I got foam. So this is a little bit of leftover foam from when I was working on my Nova. There's foam in there from when I reupholstered the seat in the Bel Air. Because I know when I did that, I put too much foam in there and we had to take some out. And I kept it, obviously, because, you know, I might need it later, and I do. So, sanded this down so I don't get splinters literally every time I grab onto it, so that looks better, not that it matters. I also cut some foam down. This was that big piece. Sliced it in half with a razor blade. Not the ideal way to do it, but it works. We're just gonna lay these out here. I was gonna double stack it, have my daughter sit in the car, and that puts her way too high. So we're going back to just single layer. Plus I've got this leftover foam padding. It's like a 1/2 inch thick, but it compresses down pretty far, so I don't think it's gonna raise her up too much. Fingers crossed. That way we can lock it all in, put the blanket over, check it off the list, in theory. So for a seat cover, I went and dug this old blanket out. I probably bought it on Amazon years ago, I'm not really sure. It's old and used, it was in the Bel Air. It's got rust stains all over. We did find a blue one for the Bel Air, so that's in there now because that's a blue car. Orange is my favorite color, so this all kind of works together. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put the stripes this way or that way. We'll just figure it out as we go, it's what we do. Oh, look at that, huh? We got her in there. I still gotta get it bolted down, and I gotta track something to put down behind it for the back side. But that blanket's gonna be big enough that I can use that for the back of it too, so that'll work out pretty good. Yeah, so far I have zero investment in this seat. Completely homemade, $0. That's pretty good if you ask me. It's getting late now, we'll figure out the rest of it tomorrow. Well, I was able to scrounge up some plywood here. I got it clamped into place where it should be, I think. The biggest thing I'm dealing with is how to attach it to the framework back here. Ideally, I think you'd want to come in from the back side and then put them T-nuts in here and you just attach it that way. That is the ideal way. It's unfortunately not the practical way for my build here because, well, I got the whole air tank and compressors and everything in the way, and I don't want to have to remove all that just to get the back of the seat out so I can access the stuff behind the back of the seat. Catch my drift? Probably not. I probably didn't say that right. So I want to be able to remove this section of seat and have access to everything back here without having to remove everything back here to have access to everything back here. Clear as mud. There's probably 100 ways to do this. I don't know. At this point, I'm looking for the quickest and easiest way. Let's do it. All right, we got her bolted in there. I thought I got these bolts long enough, but I did not. They're not long enough. So I'll have to get a little longer bolt. That angle that this is going down, and then this angle, there's geometry and math magic and stuff going on there that I need to account for, which I did not. Either way, it'll work. It's basically a backrest, so it's fine, hopefully. Now we got that part established, we need to take this back out, figure out how we're gonna make it all work with the other part of the seat, put some padding on it, because I got some padding left, and then figure out if we can find a way to kind of just conceal these bolts a little bit. If not, they'll be out there in the open for everybody to see that I did that, which is no big deal. I try to make it look good. It just doesn't always work that way for me, and I'm okay with it. So if you're gonna do this, you should do this before this stage. I should have, my fear is I gotta figure out a way that the cover for the back of the seat comes to the top, but yet hides the bolts. So I need to make sure that if the cover ever falls down, you don't see this bright piece of plywood, because that's dumb. So I'm gonna just take a piece of cardboard here, do a little spray painting, and we're just gonna blend it in and hide it basically, so it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. Hopefully. It should be better than what it is. It's not ideal to do it in this scenario, but we'll make do because I screwed up and didn't think far enough ahead. So it'll be what it'll be, and it'll be okay. If I ever do this again, I'll know next time. It worked out awesome though. This piece of foam here, that wasn't cut to size ahead of time. That is literally what was left over from the bottom. So it worked out mint. And then this is just whatever I had left over of that fabric. It's not quite enough, but it'll do. You just gotta make do with what you got. All right, I let her bake out in the sun for a little while. It's either dried enough or the paint is just soaked into the wood, and either way, the result is the same. It's now not bright whitish yellow. So let's move on. What I think is gonna happen for the cover, we're just gonna cut the excess off of this because I don't obviously need all that on there. And hopefully it's enough for that. Fingers crossed. Well, what do we think of that? That's my little package tray I made up. I gotta attach it yet. It's kinda I feel like it needs something up here. I just didn't know what to put up here. I've learned in the past, you don't want to put anything up there that can be reflective, like license plates, because they suck to see out of, because it just glares on your window for you so bad. Though that might still happen. But I don't know, I think the seat turned out pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. I'm no professional. But I mean, that's completely homemade from garbage I had laying around my house. So there's always options. It's probably semi-comfortable. I had my daughter test it in a couple different times just to make sure everything was going okay, and I'll have her check it again now that it's done, but it ain't gonna change, so it doesn't really matter. I do have to fill off that sun is not helping. Like over here, we gotta fill that space yet on both sides, which is no big deal. We'll deal with that. But it's a seat in the car. Done. Check it off the list. I know there's probably way better ways to do what I just did, but I don't know them. Like I said, I'm not a professional here. I just know what I need and find a way to make it. It's just the process. The first problem was I needed a seat. The second problem was, how the hell do we make one? So we just started making it, and this is what we came up with. Anywho, if you like what you saw, if you like what I do, drop a like, comment. Be awesome if you would subscribe. Either way, thanks for watching. See you next time.